Pre-roll.
Yummy.
Fucking 8 count for the podcast.
Yeah. What
Gonna make
BPM
sure.
is this podcast?
Yeah, what
It's at
BPM?
120, 4.4. What do you
Holy
think?
fuck.
Damn, dude, what? That's so basic, bro.
I'm
Basic.
gonna leave the fucking click in.
That's so
Oh,
bad.
We need to only speak in odd time signatures. Like everyone has their odd time signature they stick to.
Oh my god.
All right,
Nah,
Mr.
I'm not gonna even try to dissect that one.
That was so
All right,
twirly to
Mr.
you.
Cannibal Johnson. Take it
Hello,
away.
everybody. Welcome to the second Cosatomicast, if that's what we're going with.
Need a beer, dude.
Cosatomicast.
You paid for
Yeah.
this.
Go get a beer.
Cosatomicast. Go get a
Dude, is
beer,
there
buddy.
beers in?
I don't know. Probably not.
We'll find out.
I
you
got
have
wine. Do you want some wine?
Yeah, I'll take
Yeah, get some
dude.
wine,
Get some
baby.
wine.
I need some social lubricant,
Yeah.
dude. My
Grab-
brain is dry.
Can you grab me a glass as well?
This
Thanks, man.
podcast is over before it even starts.
This podcast is going terrible.
No, it's going fine.
It's going great.
Anyways, we're here.
We're here.
We just practiced, and now we're gonna get this ball rolling.
Yeah.
And now we're practicing being funny.
Nah, it's
On
not
the
gonna-
air.
It's not gonna work.
I think it's working.
Shut up!
Well, we gotta wait for you.
We're waiting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just
You crashed it.
Yeah, you crashed it.
What are you
baby.
talking about? We started it, and then you said, "Let me get up and get
Yeah.
some drink."
Now we're patiently waiting for Mr.
How did
Guff.
we do this last time?
What's up?
How did we do this last time?
Well, we didn't have a fucking interruption right at the very beginning.
That's
yeah.
for sure.
Now we're just patiently waiting.
So, music. Am I right,
Emphasis on the
fellas?
waiting.
No dead air. No dead air. No dead air.
No dead air.
No dead air. This air is cold and
Cold and
in the
dry.
morgue.
There he is.
There we
he
go.
Jeff,
I'm
come here.
really fucking carrying this cast. Jesus
No,
Christ,
Honestly.
That's what you'd like to think.
boys. Well, it just was proven to me right now.
I got something you can carry.
All right, so Jake had the album of the week this week. If you'd like to take it away and introduce us to everything.
So, my album of the week was This Wasn't Meant for You Anyway by Lola Young.
Lola Young.
Lola Young.
Excellent. All right, Jake, tell
Yeah.
us why you picked this album. What is it? What does it mean to you? Like, start with you.
It's good for, sad boy mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I think it's also just a collection of songs that I think are kind of outside the box as far as like current pop music is concerned. I thought there was a lot of really really good vocals, really creative melodies. And I mean there's a couple of songs in there I'm like not fucking crazy about, but I mean overall I feel like the album flows very well. I feel like all the performances on it are fucking spectacular. And yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
I also agree.
I think I like a lot of. I feel like the guitar and drum parts the guitar. Yeah, the guitar parts I feel like were very kind of like 60s inspired.
Yeah.
I feel like I
Yeah.
got a lot of.
It is
tone
a
in that.
very kind of band-oriented pop record, which is cool. There's not
Yeah.
a lot of that going
It's
on right now.
it's
at
like a lot
least.
of like 60s inspired guitar playing mixed with like some R&B
Yeah.
beats and bass work, which
I-
is really neat. I think
very
it's-
band-oriented. Like you
Yeah.
can tell, there's pretty much guitar, drums, bass
Yeah.
on every song, which
Well,
is pretty cool.
And especially in the song Crush too, like in the intro there's like I'm pretty sure it's the drums and bass that start, but like they keep the atmosphere of like the band in the production cuz like you can hear the drummer like cueing everybody into the verse cuz he counts it off. And again, you're not really hearing a whole lot of that in pop music these days. I
For sure.
definitely fucking dig the vibe.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy it.
Oh, I'll go last because I have some hot takes. But
So
Highlights
I've heard.
for me were
Yeah.
Conceited, because that's the one that you showed me originally.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy that song. I like the way it builds and everything. Messy is kind of the standout
that's a good
track.
song.
I
Yeah.
feel
Song
like,
right there.
yeah. You Noticed, I thought was a cute little ballad.
Yeah.
That was my
And,
favorite one.
yeah.
For sure.
And definitely a departure from the tone of the rest of the album.
Yeah, for sure, by
know.
far.
And I enjoyed it. It was a nice little sensitive treat.
Yeah, totally.
What about you, Leaf?
I think the production, honestly, throughout the entire fucking album was just so solid as far as pop music goes.
Yeah,
'Cause
totally.
Usually when
Leaf.
guitars are mixed in, usually when guitars are mixed, I
Eat the
feel
mic.
in like
That's what
modern
I'm
day
holding
pop
on.
songs, the guitar tone and like most nowadays music is so shit. Like, it just sounds so fucking bad in the mix, and throughout everything, like, every instrument stood out, like, without just sounding like dog shit. Because I feel like in most pop music, there's always at least one instrument in the mix that's just fucking dragging it all.
Yeah, totally.
My standout track was Big Brown Eyes.
Yeah,
I really liked the melody in that
I
song.
liked that one too.
Yeah.
I thought for me personally, whenever I listen to anything new, like me personally, like I always, if the melody doesn't catch me, like you could be talking about whatever in the song, you know, like the mix could be whatever, you know, good or bad, you know, but if the melody doesn't catch you in the chorus specifically, because that's, you know, the chorus, then I kind of like lose initial like interest at first before I give it a second through. But I thought Big Brown Eyes had a really, really fun chorus.
Yeah, man, that's what I was saying. Like, just really creative melodies.
The lyrics are also really good in that song.
That, and I'm a sucker for Big Brown Eyes too.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
I love.
All right, you ready for me to shit on this album?
Yep.
Of course.
Oof. I thought it was pretty brutal, honestly. I mean, as like musically, good, standard, nothing like super interesting, but it is cool that it's a pop record that is band centric and band oriented for sure.
Yeah.
I just honestly, the lyricism was pretty shallow, in my opinion. It distracted me almost the whole time.
Really?
From like being able to enjoy the music, just because I don't know. I mean, it's very literal and about one's experience, which is fair. That's fine, and I respect it as like a piece of like a timepiece in her life, and that's literally what she says like during the outro.
Yeah.
Like I played the outro a couple times, and I was like, okay, I mean that gives me a better scope of the context to where these songs are coming from.
Right.
But I don't know, dude. Lyrically, I thought it was very shallow, and like she just seems like a super brutal person, to be honest. Like, it's a lot of like complaining about shit, and like, I don't know, dude. I personally prefer music that's more of an amorphous form that is able to be interpreted.
I respect that.
And this kind of music is definitely for, I would say more for an audience that's not super into music, if that makes sense.
I feel like that's just kind of pop music in general.
Yeah, and that's just pop music in general. But I don't know. I just like, my standout track by far was You Noticed, for sure. Because to me, it was like kind of the only track that was like at all self-aware and like looked at a relationship from both sides.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I kind of thought the whole album was very like, I fucking hate everyone. It's everyone else's fault that all these relationships keep going to shit. And I don't know. It seemed like a very unself-aware kind of take on like relationship dynamics. She just seems like a really brutal person, which, that's a hot take, but I respect it as a timepiece within that person's life. It makes sense in that context, and the outro gives that context for you.
Yeah, totally.
But I don't know. To me, dude, I like to be able to lose myself in music, and to be honest, the whole time I was kind of just like, I would get halfway there, and then just like a real fucking brutal, like overly aggro lyric would come in, and I'd be like, oh, come on, dude.
And I think that's what's wonderful in a way about this sort of lyricism, is just for the fact that it's catharsis. It's fantasy.
It's very literal and not deep.
Yeah.
Which
because we
can
all
be good or bad, but it's very like this music leaves it doesn't leave much to interpretation, which is okay.
Yeah.
But to me, most great pieces of art are some form of amorphous kind of interpretable form.
I respect that.
So,
I think I totally understand that
And
viewpoint.
For me, it's a little bit too on the nose and like kind of aggro just to be it, which maybe that's not what she's going for, but that's kind of what I took from it. She could have done it in a little bit more of a self-aware way, You know, I don't know.
And I think that's not. It's not necessarily the point, is because it's basically putting her diary down into the music. It's for her to kind of expel these harsh feelings in a way that's cathartic to her.
For sure.
And I feel like you said, when it comes to pop music in general, it's not necessarily for people that are super into the ins and outs of music itself.
Right.
And that's why so many artists like Pink or Taylor Swift, who literally talk about how they personally put their own feelings onto the page, that's why it connects with so many people, is because it is straight and to the point.
Yeah.
It's not beating around the bush. This is how I feel in the moment. It's not necessarily a great representation of who I am as a person, and I think songs like You Notice kind of, that's her being self-aware of, like,
thank
this
fucking
is
God
kind of,
there was one song on the album that wasn't super brutal all the time. Like,
and I think that's probably
that was
that's
the
how
saving
she,
grace for this album for me, was that song. I was like, okay, this person has more substance than just selfishness. You
and
know?
I think that's the thing, is that's probably how she really feels. I mean, we don't know. Like,
Right.
none of us know how she feels as a person. It's she's putting on a show, you know.
Yeah.
It's performance. It's acting.
It's just, for me, I think that I understand and I respect that, but I think there's a more objective way to put these things, and I think that this, again, I don't mean to sit here and preach, act fucking pretentious and all this other shit, but this kind of way to look at a relationship and have catharsis within your own experiences is a very kind of selfish and one-sided way to look at the world. And personally, I think it's a little bit of a negative spin on things, which, again, every song is explicit. She says fuck a lot. Maybe that's the point. But to me, it's just not. It's very shallow. That's just my opinion. And we can all have our own opinions, can't we?
And that's I mean, that's what I always like to say about music, is there's not really a metric to gauge whether something is necessarily good or bad. It's always a matter of, oh, I really liked it, compared to, it's not my speed. It's not my thing.
Right.
So, and
to be fair, I'm sorry to cut you off,
You're
but
good.
there's plenty of music that I fucking did not like the first go around. Fucking Gong. A lot
Gong.
of weird, obscure, like brutal, fucking pretentious prog. I really didn't like the first go around because it's just fucking super weird for the sake of being weird. So in a way, that is kind of the same thing. Maybe I need to listen to it a couple more times. Maybe it'll fucking rub off on me a little bit better. But
it's always worth giving things another try. But I mean, like I said, there's no shame in just things not being for you.
Yeah.
You know, there's
this is
plenty
one
of
those
music
things
that
for
you
me.
guys like, and I just cannot stand to get into for one reason or another.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be a fucking household favorite.
It is.
but
It is. To the average non-music listener, the same thing as, say, like, fucking tech death is to a real fucking gnarly metalhead. You know, not everyone's gonna be able to get into that kind of shit. But if you're a metalhead in that kind of context, it's like, you know, this is sick. But yeah, I think this kind of music, like I kind of said earlier, is very mainstream and easy to digest.
Definitely.
But I don't know. I think that's in a way what bums me out about modern pop and kind of today's culture is just, I mean, popular songs back in the day were, and this is a very Rick Beato take, so, but yeah, I've basically lifted this opinion straight from the man himself.
The music
But
was better.
I think,
they put marmalade in the pudding. Oh.
I think in a way, a lot of music back, 30 years ago or whatever, didn't feel the need to dumb itself down for the general audience. It didn't assume that normal people are stupid and they have to, dumb things down for the average listener. And I think a lot of the music that comes out nowadays is very like, even in the same exact context, the same exact production, a lot of the lyricism could be a little bit more like, like amorphous and deep. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of pop in general nowadays just kind of assumes that the listener is dumber than they are.
I would
very
heavily
literal.
argue against the whole historically music used to be more heightened.
Well,
in a
I
sense.
mean,
Because I mean, if you
heightened isn't in the sense of like it's not like not every song. Not every hit song back then was 3 minutes long and the exact same format as every other pop song kind of shit. That's more what I mean. Not necessarily lyricism. That's one part of it. But there's plenty of pop singers like fucking Billie Eilish who's sick.
Yeah.
Dude. So like...
And I think you're going to find a healthy amount of that in any given era of
it's
music.
so easy to produce music now that I feel like it's more... this problem is probably more so about just the volume of people that can actually make music now.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think, like, because if you do look historically at what was popular back in the day, you do get a lot of really cool bands like Rush or Genesis.
Yeah.
You know,
ELO.
yeah,
you
ELO,
know.
fantastic, yeah.
Shit like that.
But at the same time, the most popular stuff, the tippy top of it, was always Motley Crue fucking singing about drugs and sex.
Right, yeah.
Love Gun, that's about his fucking dick, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I wanna hold your
been
hand.
singing about sex, drugs, and rock and roll for 50
AC/DC
years.
Yeah.
is a wonderful example because
Yeah.
it's this. I don't personally care for AC/DC just because it's the same shit all over again,
Yeah.
and it's a good formula. It
Closed-minded
works.
take.
Yeah. Well,
No,
and to speak up and to like bring up the Beatles too. Like, I want to hold your hand. I mean,
That's
everything.
a pretty literal lyric.
Yeah, like everything. I mean, we all love the
be
Beatles, and you know, the biggest band ever banned, and everything, you know, before they got super weird and experimental was just a fucking 3-chord "I love you" song.
There's
You know?
and the Beatles, like, even when they came out with Sgt. Pepper, which was such a departure from what was even in the realm of possibility for pop music.
All right,
in the
quit
day,
meat riding the Beatles.
Well, I was about to bring up. You know what their most popular song is?
What?
Like on Spotify or streaming services.
Here comes the sun.
Here Comes the Sun and Come Together.
Yeah.
Which Come Together sucks.
I fucking love that song. I don't know what the
I
hate
think
is about that song, bro.
is boring.
It's all right.
Do you?
I
Into the mic,
disagree, bro.
Oh yeah.
Just hold your mic at this point, dude.
just keep it against your lips.
Yeah.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
But yeah,
last
I don't
night.
know. All of these opinions are, you know, the context that matters, obviously.
Yeah.
But to me, I don't know. I just think pop music is great, but there's just so much music in general out now that it's more or less like it's just easier to make music now in general.
And that's
I
what's
think that's a lot of the fucking why this oversaturation, you know, copycat shit goes on a lot is because it's just easy to make music.
and it's definitely
you
a
know?
double-edged sword because you do have a lot of music that is incredibly derivative now because it's people getting a hold of like a Scarlett, you know, Focusrite Scarlett and a guitar and a keyboard and, you know, not necessarily putting a whole lot of effort into it. But at the same time, there are so many artists that have like 30 monthly listeners like
Right.
in North Dakota that is making the exact right type of music for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's
For
what's
sure.
and I a lot of because at the place I work, it's a lot of older people, and whenever I talk to them about music, they always shit on modern music, and especially I hate it when they talk about a lot of electronic music a lot of the time, and they're talking about how I just think when they play with guitars, you know, and live drums, that's real talent, not
Which is cool
necessarily-
that this album is like that. Which
Yeah.
definitely props for that.
But
for
it's also
sure.
you look at something like Daft Punk, and it's like that's absolutely real talent.
Yeah, super.
They're
sick,
chopping
yeah.
and screwing. You know, they're rehashing. Shut up! Don't laugh at me.
Dude,
Are they
I-
not?
I
Rolling
know
and
what that.
scratching.
I know what that term means. Ooh, that's a reference.
You're fucking so cool.
I know what
Ken.
that
I didn't
term
know you're
means.
this cool, bro.
I
Go
am.
on.
But it's a different type of talent, and it's all talent, and that's the thing. At the end of the day, whether you like or dislike something, unless it's some corporately pumped out bullshit that has zero heart in it, and they're putting it out just to make money,
Right.
it's always valid. All forms of art are inherently valid if the person making it is
If
making
the
it-
intention is there,
yeah,
I think
if
at the
you're
end of the
making
day,
it
intention is
truthful
everything.
to yourself.
Yeah, intention is definitely
Yeah.
everything when it comes to the artistic expression.
Yeah, and
as it were.
sometimes like works turn out better than others, and sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not, but there's so much music that is objectively horrible to listen to, but you still kind of like it.
Yeah,
a lot
for
of the time.
sure. And that's what's so hard. And me and Kat were kind of talking about this shit earlier. Is like, music is the most subjective form of art that you can possibly have.
Even with like film, there's a metric. There's a visual, an audio visual metric of how the film is working and how it's.
There's certain techniques that are
flowing.
to a certain extent right or wrong in that kind of medium.
Yeah, but when it comes to music, do whatever you want.
Right.
The only time it's bad is if you're being dishonest with your work.
For sure.
So, bring this subject on home here. Would you guys listen to any of that again?
I would.
I definitely liked You Noticed a lot. That was a pretty good song. And I think I'll give it another try.
Word.
Just because I listened to the entire album, and then the outro is like sums it up really well, and I was like, maybe I am being kind of a dickhead. I don't know.
I mean, listen, like, the lyricism is whatever. I mean, like, if you're in a place in life where like you can heavily relate to it, it means a lot to you. Like, that's great.
And the reason why it was so hard for me to digest is because the lyricism was so fucking blunt and like, and just so like over the top. It distracted me literally from.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, there's definitely like
the
some raunchy lyrics in there for sure. Like, however you want to interpret raunchy, but like, I like the album more for its production, its instrumentals, and the melodies, and just like the performances in general.
Yeah,
more
it's cool
over everything else. But the lyrics don't take away from it for me at least. But like I understand your point of view.
And it is cool that there's not fucking auto-tune all over everything.
Totally.
And there's I think it's Intrusive Thoughts. There is like obvious doubles going on, hard pan doubles that are very like close and intimate, and it's like, I mean, like as far as just a the technique of producing it is definitely like better than most for sure.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But to be honest, I would much rather listen to like Billie Eilish than this.
That's just
fair.
your opinion.
Yeah.
That's
like those
just
are
like
two like very different
your opinion,
genres
man.
of pop too.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not super into pop, so it's like hard for me to not just be like, this sucks.
I saved,
which is my own fucking drawback.
I think pop now is a hell of a lot better than it was 10, 15 years ago.
I agree.
With the Katy Perrys, the Carly Rae Jepsons, because while I think they put out bangers for sure.
Yeah, the music itself is sick.
Yeah.
Can't lie with that, bro.
A lot of the time it does kind of lack the heart of a lot of modern pop stars.
That's
because there's so much freedom now to kind of say whatever you want. You're not obligated to a label to make things suitable for a younger demographic.
Yeah, that's very true.
You know what's interesting about that, which is a huge fucking to answer your question, Jake, I saved Brown Eyes, Intrusive Thoughts. Let me open my phone.
Intrusive Thoughts.
Thoughts, Crush, You Notice, Walk On By, and Big Brown Eyes. I saved those and I added those to my work playlist. So, and I put stuff in my work playlist, like stuff that I wouldn't normally listen to, but stuff that I would listen to like in passing, and I put it in that playlist specifically so it would come up again and I would hear it again. Because if I put it in like my big like just like on repeat playlist that's just like an amalgamation of like every month what I have on repeat, then I like those are like the ones that I like keep coming back to, but I put those ones in there specifically in the work playlist so that way I hear it again and then I can give it a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh judgment.
Yeah, totally.
So because those songs that I saved I really liked. So I will be listening to those specific ones again. But the ones that I didn't save, I'm sure I'll listen to them again at some point. But those ones specifically, I really liked.
I think You Noticed, Messy, Conceited, and Big Brown Eyes, I think are the four that I saved. And I genuinely really enjoy those songs.
Yeah. I almost wish that I didn't speak English so I could just listen to this album objectively. Because maybe I don't know. It's
What's
just
funny-
so fucking distracting for me, these lyrics. But
I was literally thinking about that when you were saying that, because you were talking about before you suggested Split Chain, you were talking about that Russian band.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what if it's the same shit?
Yeah,
what if she's
100%.
saying the exact
That's exactly
same
what
thing?
that's the exact thought that I had. We're fucking on the same wave for sure. Because I was like, yeah, I mean, that could be some fucking brutal, insufferable shit too. I just can't understand it, so I fucking love it.
Right.
What about you, Leaf?
I feel like for going into as far as lyrics and shit, I'm a sucker for pop music.
That's
the way I
what's up.
categorize it is all the fast food restaurants, they're judged in their own way. And for me, pop is the fast food, and then I have an alternate taste for the fine dining, and that's the really sophisticated kind of music.
That's a great analogy.
So
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
love
gonna
that.
come with some these lyrics need to be super thoughtful type shit when I'm going into pop music, because I know exactly what I'm getting into.
I
getting
get
into
that,
someone.
but
That's
at the
fact.
same time, why does pop have to be? Why is there that expectation?
I don't
because
know.
it's digestible.
Yeah, it's digestible.
I ruin the fucking party a lot of the time by playing some of the weird esoteric kind of big brain.
Yeah.
Oh, wizards are fighting in space
but
with
it,
guns
but
made of
it can,
lasers.
the music itself
shit.
can be digestible and still have a more deep meaning behind it. lyrically. That's my thing.
there is plenty of that. But
sorry
it's
to
just,
keep bringing back this. I'm so sorry.
I feel like
bro.
the unfortunate reality of today's music listeners are most people honestly don't care what the fuck they're
Yeah.
saying.
and
at all.
I've talked to so many people that have that exact attitude, that they say that they just turn on the radio or whatever is popular on a Spotify playlist solely to have background noise.
Yeah.
They're not paying attention to any of it, and that's just how it is.
Because that's a great segue into the next. Before we get into the next segue, so what was the name of the album? I'm fucking spacing it.
This wasn't meant for you anyway.
This wasn't meant for you. Thank you. I keep thinking Lola Young, and then I keep thinking it's called When You Were Young for some fucking reason. So
I
this
feel
wasn't
you.
meant for you by Lola Young. That was the album of the week for this week. Leaf, for next week, do you have one
Next
picked
week-
out?
We have When the Kite String Pops by Acid Bath.
Yo, let's fucking go, dude. Is that the one with John Wayne Gacy on it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh
let's
my
fucking
God.
go.
Alrighty.
I've been meaning to listen to this album for a long
What
time.
the
I-
hell is this?
If I am correct, the album
Nice.
cover, when they got it made, they actually wrote letters to John Wayne Gacy while he was in prison, and he made that album cover and sent it to them. for
Oh
them to
shit!
use.
So he literally drew this album cover.
Yeah.
That's
And
fucking.
then,
That's
there's
crazy.
another serial killer that did the second album that they did the same thing with. They messaged him, wrote
That's-
him and got him to do it.
That is
Excellent.
funny.
So next
Fucking
week,
awesome,
When the
dude.
Kite String Pops by Acid Bath.
Fucked up death
Oh.
metal, but you can
Oh,
actually
no.
understand what's going on.
Make
at the same
sure
time.
you
no.
you download the
I can't, dude. You're making poor Kent listen to death metal. That's
It's
fucked
it's
up.
not like
Kent's
death.
not
death
as
I
metal.
squeamish as
will-
most of you guys think. I think Kent will be able
No,
to get into it.
It's
I
you
can
can
I've heard
understand you
Kent
can
listen to
understand
one
every word
Slayer
he's
song.
saying. It's not like that death metal.
Mm.
Okay.
It's more like like Slipknot yelling vocals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't.
So-
It's I just hate the fetishized.
You'll
this
love
is a
it.
completely
You'll-
different
he's a
subject.
very
I don't.
experimental.
Oh,
I hate to
Let's-
derail
I don't.
this,
I don't
but
want to
save it for next week.
Okay, I don't want
I
to
hate
get
to
into.
fucking
Okay,
save
yeah,
this
that's
next
a good
week.
point.
Okay, so to I was gonna segue this into something else, but this actually is bringing up a fantastic fucking point. The discussion of the album this week is, when you listen to music, doesn't matter pop music, doesn't matter fucking prog, doesn't matter if it's acoustic, indie. What do you listen for first? And if it's the lyrics, do the lyrics really matter? Because something like early Beatles is super duper simple. I love you. Queen is the same way. Queen gets a little bit more descriptive with it, but it's still just like, oh, I love you. Oh, I broke my heart. And this goes to when we were talking about different eras of pop music, where we were talking about Katy Perry, Carly Rae Jepsen. You know, I personally enjoy that era a little bit more.
Same.
Because not just for the nostalgic purpose, but because it was fun. They were singing about having a good time.
Yeah, well, they
Yeah,
weren't
And
taking themselves super seriously.
Yeah, so it's just like, but that goes to that era, 2010 to let's say 2013. That era of pop music was coming from people that just came out of the 2008 recession, whereas pop music today is coming out of people after COVID. So like a lot of pop music today, from my perspective, is really sad.
Very
You
bitter
know,
too.
very like the vocals. They're not very like, they don't really like belt too much. It's very that breathy, that soft, you know, tune. Whereas like the stuff from when we were all teenagers that we have that nostalgia trip for, you know, was very like, it was more full, I guess, like with their voice, because that's personally something that I listen for in music first is just the voice and the melody. You know, it's just like, you know, the lyrics can be about personally whatever to me, but if like the voice and the melody catches it, you know, that's what strikes my tingle. Like, what about you guys? Like, what do you guys listen for
That
on
was
the
my-
first initial listen of anything?
I would say personally for me, I try to not listen to anything, and I try to embody the music. I try to take off any preconception and listen to the music and try to put myself inside whatever that is. And whatever pops out is whatever pops out. I basically try and lose myself within the universe that is trying to create. And that's why when it comes to this album, for example, it's like distracting to me, all this like super blatant like kind of lyricism. Because I personally, whenever I'm listening to music, it doesn't even have to be in fucking English. You know, that's why I really like that one Russian band. Because like my biggest thing with music is just to try and experience it in the purest, most unbiased form. And the more that whatever's going on pulls me away from getting the bigger perspective of what's going on, then that's when I kind of get annoyed by it in a way. I'm very pretentious as far as that goes. I like stuff that's atmospheric and not super pinned down, because it has real listenability. That's why I love Pink Floyd and a lot of prog, you know, because it's very like, you know, you can listen to it 4 different times and whatever mood that you're in might bring out a different color out of that palette. But that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on what mood I'm in too, because if I'm listening to music specifically to like, you know, if I'm listening to an album that has a specific meaning for me, then I'm going to listen more to those lyrics. But yeah, at least for a first go round of listening to music, I try to just act like I'm not even a human being and just like experience it in the most raw form I possibly can and embody and put myself within the universe that is that song or album, you know?
Totally.
Absolutely.
I guess for me, I really think it comes down to instrumentation, but I also kind of feel exactly what Jeff means as far as like putting yourself into the universe it's trying to create. I think that's like number one, a really fascinating way to look at it, and number two, something that I didn't really think I did myself. But when I think about it, like the instrumental, that's kind of what usually hooks me first.
Right.
But I feel the instrumental is necessary to bring you into that universe.
Yeah,
You know
for
what
sure.
I mean? And so like if a song has a really cool instrumental, I mean, it doesn't even have to be cool, just something that sounds interesting. Like if it gets me somehow just hooked, then like I think that's usually what hooks me first. Like I could always, like, I appreciate really good lyricism. I appreciate really good vocals, but at the same time, even if it's not great vocals or great lyrics, I feel like to me that comes last. I feel like to me that is what I'm looking for dead last as far as consuming music,
Yeah.
so to speak.
It's like you're trying to capture and almost put into visual form the exact vibe / universe
Right.
of whatever's going on. You know, it's like almost like, you know, like, and after like, you know, taking shrooms and listening to music, like the last couple times that I've tripped is like, it's that after doing that, I have a completely different outlook on like music and the visual, you know, mind's eye kind of interpretation of that shit. So
Right.
like, yeah, I mean, that's just like you said, that's the
Right.
best way to do it, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Just trying to hold the vibe and understand that vibe, you know.
Right. And I'm sure you definitely feel kind of what we're both talking about here on like a much deeper level, because obviously I've never done mushrooms. But what I'm kind of saying is like I understand that mindset, just
Yeah.
like I obviously haven't felt it on like a fucking deep level like that, I
Right.
guess. But I know what you mean. And like I definitely kind of see myself as observing music that same
Yeah.
way.
Vibe catcher.
What about you, Leaf?
I feel like it just depends on the song that I'm listening to at the time, because I feel like there's so many different ways song starts where something will catch my interest right away, and then sometimes like my focus will drive differently depending on like what that could be. Like for example, on that Acid Bath song, on that Acid Bath album, there's a lot of songs where like just the drums for whatever reason just stick out like a fucking sore thumb to me, and that's what I hear most over top of everything. But then with other songs, it'll be like the rhythm section will catch me first, or the melody will catch me first. But honestly, it just depends. Because even if it's like the vocals don't initially catch me, but halfway through they start saying some real shit, then all of a sudden the lyrics and what the vocalist is doing, that starts getting my attention. So honestly, it just kind of varies.
It shifts over time usually.
Yeah.
I get that.
I don't know. I've always tried to pin down why I like certain bands and artists and just the music that I like in general. And I've always said that I love color. And I know that doesn't
Yes.
necessarily track,
I know
or make
exactly
any-
what you mean.
but I just love things that pop
Yeah.
from the background.
Yeah.
You know, just things that you necessarily haven't heard before in a style that is so omnipresent. And there's just a specific band or a specific artist that does it the most interesting, that does it best. And I just love it
almost
for those reasons.
To me, like a good song is like when you listen to it, you just understand it right away.
Totally.
You listen to it and you're like, oh, I feel like I've known this song forever.
Yeah.
You know, though that's where I look for gold, is like just putting on a song and being like, wow, dude, I know this from a different lifetime before type shit.
See,
that's the kind of, those vibes are what I look for in music, you know. But listening to it for the first time and then that entire universe just fucking downloads itself into your head in an impossible to explain way, you know.
That's so cool.
For me, it's almost the opposite a lot of the time. There are certain artists, and especially ones I grew up with, like Billy Joel, you know, and stuff like that, where it is partially nostalgia, but also partially because he's just a phenomenal musician. And I think as far as like singer-songwriters go, I think he's better than a lot of singer-songwriters from that time. But a lot of the albums that I really love and the artists I really love took me a while to get into, because I know 2019 was my Beatles phase, and I had never given the Beatles much credit before that.
I think you mean our Beatles.
Our
phase.
Yeah.
Beatles phase, ever since Jesse decided to start singing the Octopus song on the Minecraft server that we were playing.
Every 10 seconds.
Yeah. And then, like, I listened to it, and certain songs and certain albums I don't care for at first. Like Magical Mystery Tour, I wasn't that big of a fan of. And now, after listening to it over and over, I'm like, oh, this is my favorite one. The same with, like, Ween. I love Ween. And it doesn't track. A lot of the songs in their albums are so unlistenable, but the more and more that I go back to it and I have to take the time to actually get into it, the more that I really, really enjoy them.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I feel the same way with the like real like artists like Gong and the real weird kind of prog shit.
Yeah.
Ween is a good example too.
Yeah.
Where like there is something to be said about songs that are an automatic download for sure, but there's also something to be said about songs that have that re-listenability and you kind of have to break away at.
Yeah,
in a way.
I feel like those kind of songs and albums have more longevity
Yeah.
to them. As
Yeah,
far as like
definitely.
I'm going to listen to them more because you begin to realize how
Yeah,
interesting
it's almost
what's
like a
going
yin
on.
and a yang kind of thing. Like to me, artists like Pink Floyd, for example, download time.
Yeah.
For those kind of songs, you know,
Definitely.
Echoes, fucking,
Yeah.
you know, fucking Dark Side of the Moon. Like albums like that are just so coherent and so incredibly like eloquent in the way that they're communicating their vibe. Whereas like really weird stuff is like almost the opposite. But once you get to the point where you can really understand it, you're like, ooh. This
Yeah.
it tickles a different kind of spot in your brain.
You feel like you've tapped into something.
Yes,
And
yeah.
that's you're like,
It's
oh,
like
this lives
you've
with me
pulled the
now.
fucking curtain
Yeah.
back of fucking Wizard of Oz, dude.
And you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Like you finally eventually get it.
Yeah,
And that's
those
the same
kind of
thing.
epiphanies with music are sick. Bro.
Echoes is a good point because I mean, first listen. I mean, for most people, it's hard to. It's a 23.5-minute song with 8 minutes of whale noises in the middle. And for me, like the first time I listened to it, I'm like, I don't know about this. This seems weird.
8 minutes
And-
of your mom.
Shut up. And the more that I listen to it, I'm like, oh, Echoes is the best Pink Floyd song, or one of the best.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, but yeah, I just like things with color. I like things that pop, and I don't necessarily know how to explain it. It's probably not objective. Like I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't feel the same way about a lot of artists that I love. But yeah, just how I feel.
Lay it on us, Jerry.
I feel so like you guys all gave super duper like 4-dimensional answers, and I'm just like I just listen to a bunch of brain dead techno music that's just like for fucking 4 minutes straight, and I'm like, yeah, this scratches my brain really
Jesse's
well.
just up in his room, just listening to that one song from that SpongeBob episode.
Stadium.
Oh shit!
Literally, man, like
No, it goes
digga,
beep,
digga,
boop,
digga.
boop, beep.
Oh yeah.
like if it has a fucking fun catchy melody, like I don't care what genre it is, I will fucking eat it up.
That's
like
fair.
that's like
Yeah.
that's
I
like
mean-
all I listen for on like if it's something that's what catches my fucking drift whenever I just listen to something new, whether it's in passing or something that like somebody recommends. If it has a fun melody,
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
matter what instrument it is, doesn't matter who's singing. I'm just like, yeah, this is sweet.
I go so deep with shit. It's like, I can't. I have to just. That's how I consume art is at its most raw form, completely out of context of who I am and myself as an ego.
Yeah.
That's my favorite way to listen to music is just getting super stoned, putting on a record and just closing my eyes and seeing what fucking
Like
pops up.
like disconnecting, like you said, your ego, yourself
yeah.
from and joining the world of the music.
experiencing it objectively as exactly what it is and not having any preconception.
Yeah.
I'm also like I'm on my feet a lot, so I don't listen to a lot of like slow music.
That's fair.
Like don't get me wrong, I mean my favorite song ever is Strawberry Fields, so it's like it's a slow song because but I love it because of how it makes me feel as a person. But like like I don't like whenever I go running or whenever I'm driving or whenever I'm just chilling, whatever I'm doing, like I'm moving around a lot. So like a lot of the music that I like listen to just when I throw something on, like doesn't matter really what playlist, even if I'm just kind of like down and I put on like the sad song playlist, even the sad songs are still kind of like little upbeat in terms of just like musical wise. It's just like I just like stuff that makes me feel like I'm moving, stuff that I
for
can
sure.
shake my ass to, stuff that I can dance to, stuff that I can
For sure.
That's why I don't
move
like a lot
around.
of fucking songs that have like only halftime drums all the way through.
Yeah.
I think that shit is so boring.
Yeah.
like even
Really don't like
it's like
metal like that.
yeah, it's I
Oh, like the
definitely agree.
like fucking like slammy type shit.
Yeah.
Real like breakdown type
Yeah,
shit.
like I like breakdowns are cool and like they're they bring that heavy atmosphere to them, but like I like a song that like ebbs and flows. I guess this is a very
Yeah.
boomer take and I'm fully aware of this, but like I like a song that ebbs and flows and like maybe puts a halftime section in there, but like a whole song comprised of
I
like
think-
that shit is
you-
so
you
boring
know-
to me. I
you
can't
know,
stand
I
it.
kind of love that shit. I
ahead.
can't lie.
Yeah,
Me
I
and
also love
Yeah,
that.
me and Leaf are on
I
the
know.
same page.
Yeah,
We were
I know.
fucking
And like, listen, man,
I
I
don't know.
respect it. I get it. Just not
So
my thing.
it's so it's funny you bring that up. So like adding it tastefully in. So
Yeah,
one
that's
of
true, though.
you know, this is a pretty like I feel like universally accepted take. I feel like just like based on just like the internet and stuff. So I feel like one of the best breakdowns of all time is Domination.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
feel
I didn't
like
know you were
that-
gonna say that, and I was
Yeah.
gonna cut you off and
And
say
I-
domination.
and I feel like, and I actually think about this every single time I listen to Domination, and I feel like the reason why it's so good is because it's at the very end of the song, and it's where the song climaxes.
Right.
That entire song is 1,000 miles an hour the entire time, and especially the guitar solo right before it. It just
Right.
rips right through it. And it builds up with that fucking chug, and then at the
Right.
very end of the song, it just all that tension throughout the entire song releases right there. Because like even, I mean like that song kicks ass.
So sick.
But like in terms of just like Pantera bops, like I feel like in terms of riffs and choruses, like the majority of what comes before that, they've done better.
That's
in
a
my
good point,
personal
yeah.
take.
Yeah.
But the reason why I feel like that song has so much replayability is because it's just musically it just builds and builds and builds and builds until it finally fucking releases at the very end.
Precisely.
And that's what makes that breakdown so good comparative to other bands that just do halftime stuff throughout the entire song, whereas like that stuff is good but it doesn't
give it a purpose.
yeah, it doesn't build up, which
Yeah.
is like kind of not the whole point of a breakdown, but I feel like the way that you could most of the time utilize the breakdown correctly. I
Yeah.
feel like maybe not correctly is not the right term, but just like in the most effective way. I feel
Yeah.
maybe.
That's fair.
And
Yeah.
like I don't know, bands like Knocked Loose and shit. I feel like, yeah, a lot of people have their own opinions on that kind of hardcore, but I've gone back and forth a lot. But I don't know. I feel like that band out of any band does it really fucking good.
Dude, I wasn't even
A
that
lot-
big of a Knock Loose fan until we saw them.
Holy
and they're one of my favorite
fuck,
bands now, bro.
bro.
They put like that shit is so
I
crazy
feel like that kind of
live.
music is you cannot understand it unless you see it in person.
Yes,
And then
I
once you see
agree.
it in person, you're like, oh, okay.
'Cause
It's so much easier to grok
yeah,
when you're fucking right there and you can feel the fucking energy coming off of the band.
yeah, and when you're experiencing a band like that,
Yeah.
it's not like there's little breaks. Like literally, their whole set, you are just losing your fucking mind.
it hurts.
why
It hurts to
everyone
listen
around
to,
you-
dude.
I love I love bands like that live. Like a lot of the bands that we play with, they are super enjoyable live because it's just the energy
Yeah.
that they
Right.
bring.
it's hard to
and
reproduce that on a record.
And that's the
dude.
thing. I don't know. And I think going back to what I love about music, I think I'm realizing now one of the biggest things is just a band that's comfortable with being eclectic, whether album to
100%,
album
dude.
or song to song. I don't care for bands. I might like a song or two that has their style and just wants to roll with it.
Right.
I like a band that is comfortable branching out, but still like having it be their own thing. You know,
Right.
have it be their sound, but is comfortable doing other things.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. I
And-
feel like it is very. There's so many bands that limit themselves to that one color palette.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, if you just let yourself be creative and didn't think of music and writing as this one kind of formulaic thing, then that's why I mean we love bands like King Giz, is because like there's so much variety, but at the end of the day, it still has their vibe
can
on it
hear
somehow, which is
them.
crazy that it's fucking that they can pull that off. but-
It's so weird that they have like metal albums and then acoustic and synth pop albums, and it's always still them.
It's still of the same universe and vibe.
Yeah.
Kind of like I was saying earlier.
Which
Which is
is-
fucking crazy that they can do that. It's fucking uncanny that they can do that.
Well, it's like I
dude.
was talking about with like the automation stems when I was looking at those. and I
For
definitely-
context, for anyone that's listening, they put out stems for a song Automation, all the like separated tracks. and
Yeah, so
everything.
I can solo each of the tracks and listen to them individually, which is so fucking cool of them as a band to be able to be like, yeah, I have this, like
For
look
real.
at it, dissect it, like, and learn from it. But it's crazy, and it's probably part of the reason why they pump out so many albums, because it's not well recorded. It's very lo-fi. His double tracks, Stu is recording his vocals with his monitors on, so the music is bleeding into the microphone. And if you solo his double tracks, they start to phase, and you don't want that,
right,
ideally.
And
but
I think they're probably phasing because he has that monitor going on, and then if they're doing any sort of aligning in post, then the all that shit that's coming off the monitor is not hitting the mic at the same time.
Yeah.
Besides the vocal itself, so it creates that weird
Right.
phasey thing. But that could be a part of the sound. And
Yeah.
I haven't actually dug into those, but like it is so empowering as a music producer to listen to shit like that is rough around the edges, and then be able to listen to the entire thing. And you're like, oh wow, this is a professionally produced song.
yeah.
But it's still
To
rough
know-
around the edges. It's so fucking empowering, dude, because like it makes me it's like, okay, at least I know I'm fucking it doesn't have to be perfect.
I
It's
think
okay if it's not perfect.
I think it goes to show that if you're confident about your sound,
Yes.
you're superlative when it comes to writing melodies and rhythms and song structure. You don't have to put on all the bells and whistles in order to get a cool sound.
But how much bells and whistles? I assume there's probably a lot of fucking shit going on that, like
There-
layering wise and shit like that. I haven't looked into it.
It's like
enough,
20 tracks, and granted, the
Really?
drums and bass are consolidated into
Oh,
one
okay.
track.
Okay.
But I mean, there's
So there's
three
a lot
vocal,
going on.
There's a double track on his vocals, and there's a low where he's singing like this, automation, singing like that, and then there's obviously stock synthesizer, flute, and clarinet parts in there.
Oh, just like fucking shitty Yamaha keyboard, like
yeah.
stock. What the fuck?
Yeah,
What?
and it just blends so well that you
Damn,
don't
dude.
even. And it just, if you know how to mix and you know how to write a really good song,
Right.
you can get away with,
Interesting. I
Dude,
need to look into that, dude. I
it's-
need to
it's
dive into that
interesting.
shit, dude.
All right, I'm gonna transition because we're running long. Not necessarily long, but let's.
Where are we at right now?
It's like
what are we
50
looking
minutes.
at time-wise? 50 minutes?
Yeah.
We're
I
we
wanted
have
to
8
bring
minutes
up-
Let's
left.
close it with this next bit here.
Nah, I think we can go
Are we
for
gonna
another
play
20.
What Happened to the
We're
Dishwasher?
gonna play America's
Oh,
best new
shit.
game show.
Okay, so
what
Leaf.
the fuck happened to the dishwasher?
God, I've been waiting for
So
this
leave
all
our
day, dude.
fucking dishwasher backed up to give you context.
Our dishwasher backed up, and it turned out suds were going all over the goddamn floor.
Dude, Jeff texted the house chat and nobody was home, and he got home. Why don't you tell the story? Because like,
Oh, well, Jesse was home. He was just taking a nap or some shit. But I just
Oh.
walked in, and it was fucking Santa Claus fucking suds all over the all over the fucking ground. And I was like, oh, God damn. One more fucking thing with this house, and I swear to God, I'm going to fucking burn it down, dude. Every week with this fucking house, dude.
So
it's crazy.
I called the maintenance guy. He came in, and he was like, no, it's draining fine. There's just like a bunch of suds, and it's overflowing because of the suds. And right now, I want each of you to try to guess exactly what was going wrong with the dishwasher.
I can't even begin to guess. It did
Yeah.
not make sense. Well, it's like I walked in and it was all over the fucking ground. So it's like obviously there's got to be a hole somewhere. I don't fucking know.
Just-
and
just-
I checked to see if it was closed, and it was closed perfectly fine, and it was still doing that. So I can't even guess.
just
dude.
give your guess. There is a cash
Yeah.
prize.
Did you maybe put one too many fucking like fucking soap things in there or some shit? I don't even know.
That is not the answer.
Yeah, I can't even tell.
fuck, dude, I don't know. The fucking dishwashinator part was broke. Fucking.
That is not the answer. Leaf, do you
How
have
am
an
I
idea?
supposed to know?
Fucking hole or something.
No, the real answer is that Jesse bought laundry detergent thinking
Oh my God, dude! No
Jesse was
way,
unloading
dude.
the dishwasher with laundry detergent.
When I bought them at Sam's Club.
But hold up. But how would that even?
That's what it is.
Why? But okay, so you put dish. Oh, that's fair. But why would it start to leak? That's what I don't
Because
understand.
it's overflowing with the suds. That
And it
happens
gets-
if you put like
Holy
the
fuck.
sink top dish soap in there, it'll do the same thing. If you get anything that's super sudsy, it'll overflow.
but it was like half water though. That's what I was confused about.
It overflows the entire thing.
Could
Yeah.
not
Oh,
have
like the
guessed
suds
that
get-
in a million
Yeah.
years.
Get backed up inside the
Yeah.
fucking thing itself, and then the water can't
Yeah.
drain right. Ah,
Did you
that's
guys find out this information in front
Well,
of the maintenance man?
No, the maintenance guy
thank
left.
God.
and
So
then
fucking
Jesse
funny.
was looking at it, and I pulled it. I was like, "Did you just get these?" And I was like, "Maybe it's these dishwasher pods." And he was like, "Yeah, I just got them." And I pulled it out, and Jesse was looking at it. He's like, "I have no idea what could be doing this." And as I was looking at it, I read laundry detergent. I was like,
What did it look
Jesse,
like?
I think I have your. It's in the laundry room.
So now we
Okay.
have 140 laundry pods.
I was gonna say,
for
dude,
the
I'm
next fucking
I'm kind of running
forever.
low. I'm kind of running low on fucking laundry detergent. Can I steal some of those, bro?
Absolutely.
Thanks,
I
dude.
mean, when I bought them, yeah.
Yep.
Look, man, I when I bought those at Sam's Club,
Oh
I bought
my
them from the
God.
fucking dishwashing era, and it says Power Packs on
Yeah,
it. So
they're-
Power Pack single dose laundry detergent.
when
Big
you
fine
look
print
at
guy
that,
right
it
here.
looks like it
That's
says.
so fair.
Yeah, it looks
No,
like
I
it's-
like.
That's
I never,
so
que-
fair,
I never
dude.
and look at
questioned
it. It has the 3 fucking colors on it.
Yeah.
It's like a Tide Pod.
That's-
I never
so
questioned
fair,
it.
bro.
I saw those and I was like, yeah, that's
Yeah, because you want to eliminate odor from your dishes, man.
and remove the toughest stains.
But if they're in the wrong spot with all the other, I wouldn't fucking.
when I
twice.
bought,
I barely even know how to use
it's
that
a-
fucking thing, so
it's
I
a
can't say
fair
anything. dude.
mistake. It's just hilarious that it happened.
Oh my god.
because I bought those like 4 months ago, and then right after I bought those, somebody else bought dishwasher tablets. So we put those dishwasher tablets on top of that box. So I mean, I bought that fucking 3 or 4 months ago. Like it was so long ago.
Dude, sick. And now I can fucking steal some of those from my
Yeah,
walking.
man, they're all up for grabs.
That's
man.
fucking
Lee,
incredible,
take some
dude.
fucking dishwasher pods home, dude.
Happy Halloween, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Jesse, you said you had a topic?
All right.
We're gonna bring it home with this.
So this will be something that
Oh,
we'll have to edit on top of the screen.
Okay.
So I'm gonna send this to you guys on Instagram. You guys ready? Everybody pull up your
No.
Oh man.
everybody pull up your Instagram. This is gonna be a good one, okay? Jeff Ryan, Jake Victor, Kent Johnson. All right, guys.
Are we starting an Instagram chat with the boys right now, or what?
I think we have
Don't
an
we already have
Instagram
one?
chat, but it's probably so far back, and I just sent it to you guys separately. So, all right, guys, analyze this fucking picture.
Oh, what is this? What the?
Who's taking it home?
Oh, hold up. Okay.
Zoom
in.
Give me a
Yeah.
give yourself a second
This is
to
too visual.
Give yourself
for
a second.
podcast.
give yourself a second to digest what's going on here. And don't fucking
Dude, my
don't
shit
affect
hasn't
each
even
other's shit.
So your question is like, which of these teams would win
Yeah, which
if
of these
they
teams-
all had a fucking battle royale?
Hold up. Let's hit pause real quick. Let's hit pause on the cast. Let's hit pause on the cast and let's think about this for a couple minutes and then come back. Okay? Cool. Pause. So is
No,
is
okay.
Ivan
Shouldn't
Ooze
have paused that.
Ivan Ooze from Power Rangers, bro? It's like a Power Ranger. bro.
Okay. So let's start with red team. All right, we got the Flash.
Yeah.
We got
yeah.
Spider-Man. We got the Red Ranger, Scarlet Witch, Mario. That's solid.
Scarlet Witch pretty OP, bro.
Yeah, we got Knuckles the Echidna, and then we have the Kool-Aid Man. Then we have Raphael, Hellboy, and then fucking
Elastigirl.
Elastigirl.
I would not discount the Kool-Aid Man because he can get into any like bunker.
Literally, he's
or
strongest,
like, yeah.
like,
No,
strength.
he will be
Oh
able
my
to get in
God.
for
Yeah.
you.
How many
We're about to go for another hour.
How many
dude.
bullets do you think the Kool-Aid Man can eat, though? That's a real
Not a
question.
lot.
Ollie
I mean,
just
Made
one.
of glass.
Ollie's
Yeah.
literally a singular
literally
bullet.
a glass tank.
Yeah, that kind of negates
He's a
that
glass
fucking-
cannon.
All right, we got blue team. We got Captain America. We got Superman. We got Leonardo, Dr. Manhattan. We got Mystique, Sonic the Hedgehog, Natiri. I don't know, fucking Muggy Wuggy. I don't know who that's from.
Looks
The
like
Blue Ranger and
it's-
the Genie.
Oh,
Oh,
Robin
from
Williams?
Aladdin?
Dude,
Yeah.
From Aladdin.
Can I fucking fast forward to Team Pink right quick and say Adam Eve carries Team Pink.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
everybody else
Adam
on
Eve
Team
Oh
Pink.
shit!
Everybody else on Team Pink is
yeah,
dead weight.
Adam Eve OP as fuck, bruh.
Yeah.
But she doesn't do shit with her powers is the issue.
But
what do you
she
mean?
has them. That's
I know-
what matters.
I
Adam
know.
Eve go hard as fuck,
But
bruh.
she does, but she's still like, I don't know. I feel like she can
She
decimate
carries. She
any
carries fucking. She
confrontation
carries
she's in,
Team
but
Pink.
she's-
So,
That's all
okay,
there is
so
to
P-
it.
She kind
It's
of
the
a
same
pussy
reason
about
why
it.
Invincible himself, it's like, why does he lose every fucking fight that he's in?
Because he's kind of a pussy about it, dude.
He is.
Listen, you aren't thinking about it like this though. Team Blue has fucking Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
Easily ratios everyone on this fucking list.
And Superman.
But listen,
And the genie.
And
listen.
Genie.
If Kirby sucks up Dr. Manhattan, that shit is fucking crazy.
That's
How come,
Kirby may as well be the fucking
dude?
be the decider.
I don't know anything about Dr. Manhattan.
He just literally like looks at you, does this, you fucking explode.
He's like Thanos.
Thanos.
Why isn't Thanos on Team Purple, dude? That's
I
bullshit.
don't know. Why
dude.
don't they have Thanos?
All right.
Why isn't Megatron on Team
They have
Purple, dude?
the Jokester.
All right.
Team Orange?
So okay. So Team Purple,
They have Grimace on Team Purple.
Galactus, but the Joker. You know.
Fucking
Um,
Ghost Rider on Team Orange, dude. I'm
all right.
sorry.
So
we're
what about
getting way
Team-
too far.
What about Twinkie Winky?
What the fuck about Twinkie Winky?
What does he bring to the team?
Not a goddamn thing.
No. There's got to be some powers that the Teletubbies
Team
have.
Yellow looking pretty good too.
Nah, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking
Big Bird.
Grimace carries Team Purple.
So okay, so Team Yellow, we got the Wolverine, the Yellow Ranger, Minion, Pikachu, Scorpion,
Minion's
Bumblebee,
low-key
Big Bird.
powerful as fuck.
Yeah. Big Bird, you know, the Bride, Peely, and Dwight.
Dwight Schrute is pretty OP as well.
Yeah.
Bumblebee.
He can get you in a social headlock for like 30 minutes.
You're not going to be able to leave that conversation. You can distract anybody.
Bumblebee and Scorpion fucking carry Team Yellow.
Yeah. Well, fucking Wolverine, dude.
Wolverines? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, Team Green
Wolverine-
is looking like a
Yeah.
solid
kind
pick.
of like a brute force kind of team.
So Team Green, we got the Hulk. We got
Larry the Cucumber carries Team Green, dude.
Larry and Miss Green.
He's
We
gonna
have
shove his
Godzilla,
hairbrush
man.
up
Why
your
is
ass.
Godzilla on Team Green? That's retarded.
Because he's like green.
Because he's green.
He's
Is he?
green. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
I thought Godzilla was like a
He's like
green.
He's
black,
radioactive.
but I
He's
think he
historically-
like shimmers green in the sun.
Listen, I
Historically,
could
he's
fucking
green.
tell you a thing or two about Godzilla, but he's been gray, he's been green, he's been pretty much black.
He's been yours.
Yeah. I love Godzilla.
I think we skipped over Team Orange. We got
Team
fucking.
Orange.
Ghost Rider.
Team Orange
We
is
got
kinda
anxiety.
useless.
We got anxiety from fucking Inside Out. Velma. That's a
over.
sleeper pick right there. Ghost Rider, Garfield. That's pretty cool. Lloyd Christmas, which is basically just Jim Carrey in a fucking
It's from
orange
Dumb and
suit.
Dumber.
Oh, okay. I
The
got it.
Laura.
The Lorax is pretty hard.
Saying,
He's just gonna shame you.
but
into
they
all
got
this war.
Charizard though. They do have
Yeah.
Charizard and Ghost Rider. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but Charizard is only like twice the height of a human.
Really?
Godzilla's gonna stomp on you. Yeah.
Oh damn.
Charizard's
Dude.
not that
yeah,
big.
Team Orange fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Team Orange is
Yeah,
Orange
Team
is
Orange.
gone.
Yeah.
Team
Yeah.
Orange and Team Pink, I think, are the weakest here.
Team Green, I think, can.
Why is
fuck up.
Mike Wazowski not in Team Green?
That's true.
So
Alright.
okay,
What
we
the
got
fuck?
so we
Team
get-
Black.
Yeah, we got Team Black. We got Neo.
Team Black's
most OP.
taking over.
Most OP. Black Panther. Fucking stupid as fuck. Venom. Darth Vader. Darth Vader pretty OP. He pretty good.
Darth Vader's OP as fuck.
We got the fucking Xenomorph.
Yeah, Xenomorph might take it home.
The Black Power Ranger, Batman, Shadow the Hedgehog, which is also pretty OP. Snape, he pretty good with shit. He got a big nose, he can smell shit out and shit. And then Wednesday Addams.
Hold on. Never mind. Go ahead. Never mind.
Wednesday Addams. I don't know what to say about
That
here.
was kind of a fucking
Honestly,
bad
Team
pick
Black
for
is
Team
kind
Black.
of a pretty OP team. Like
Yeah.
you got Neo,
Yeah, Team Black
Venom.
is solid.
You
I
got
would go for Team Black.
the
personally.
Xenomorph is gonna
Darth
fuck
Vader.
shit up. Xenomorph and Venom on a team together, I would actually watch that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be
That would
sick.
be such a cool movie.
But
Oh, Venom
Team-
versus the Xenomorph, Alien versus Venom.
yeah.
Team
Darth
Blue though
Vader.
is OP just because of Dr.
Yeah.
Manhattan.
Doc-
Yeah,
I feel like-
Dr. Manhattan is
Dr.
gonna-
Manhattan and Superman.
Yeah, and
Like,
Superman,
like,
dude, totally.
I
Yeah.
haven't looked at all of Team White until right now. we got Moon Knight. We got
Moon Knight go hard.
Snoopy.
Snoopy.
We got Casper, the Ghost, Gandalf the White,
Wampa.
the Wampa from Empire, Pennywise, the Colonel Sanders, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man,
That's pretty
Kingpin,
good.
and Skibbity Toilet.
Kingpin and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man would definitely body a lot of people.
I think the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man might give everybody a run for their money.
Yeah,
All
for
right,
real.
so there's a few ways that we could go about ranking this. So
Fucking
like
Barney.
them all just going at it, or we could go character by character,
I think we just do team by team who wins.
Oh,
team
shit.
by team.
Team by team who wins. My pick, it's tough between Team Black and Team Blue, but I think objectively, we got to go Team Black.
I think Team Blue, no.
we got to go Team Black because they got Neo as well as fucking Venom
Yeah, but
and
they got
the Xenomorph.
Dr.
bro.
Manhattan.
And they got
Dr.
Snake
Manhattan.
P be able to
Doc-
fucking
Dr.
smell
Manhattan
shit
does
out.
not give a fuck who you are, bro. He will do this and you're dead.
Yeah,
Like,
but
you literally
Neo,
just blow up.
but Neo can just turn them into ones and zeros real quick. So it's like,
I think one thing about Dr. Manhattan, you literally cannot fucking kill it.
I don't
Like,
think
bro, it just literally
Neo
doesn't
can just
die.
turn everybody into code.
yeah, bro.
That's not his thing.
Well,
It's just
Neo can fuck with reality. He can remix reality and shit, dude.
I mean, I guess that's the question of whether this fight takes place in the Matrix or not.
That's
well,
true.
well, then,
because the power of the one goes outside of the Matrix
Oh,
as well.
does it? I don't
yeah.
know. I've only seen the first movie.
So
That's why.
yeah,
I've seen them all a
Team
bazillion.
Black obviously takes the win. Dr. Manhattan is a pussy within the
Yeah.
Matrix.
Bro,
dude.
No.
how is he going to kill Dr. Manhattan though?
He's just gonna fucking
How does he do it?
unalive him, dude. He's just gonna fucking be like, you don't exist now, pussy.
Yeah, but what if
Okay,
Manhattan
hold
could
on.
do the same shit to him
I have
though?
I
so
have
how-
a counter argument. Mystique can disguise herself as the chick from the Matrix.
Oh yeah,
What's team was she on?
blue.
Blue. Mystique can disguise. I can't remember her name from the Matrix right now. Disguise herself as that, get close to Neo, and then just fucking assassinate him. When
If
his
it-
But
back's turned.
Neo's taking the fucking red pill. He can see through the Matrix. dude.
If we're
I can't believe it's down to
Like
Dr. Manhattan
Manhattan.
versus Neo.
Yeah,
So,
literally, bro.
That's
That,
not even.
that is by far the most OP out of the.
Okay.
Those two are the most OP.
You're
of
telling
anyone on the
me.
list,
You're
dude.
telling me that the genie abides by the
Yeah.
laws of the Matrix. Genie.
He's 2-dimensional, dude. He's fucking not even real, bro.
Oh, and the rest of these characters are.
He's the only 2-dimensional character on the fucking list here, bro.
First of all, that's not true.
Say
I
that
don't
to
think.
fucking Snoopy, bro.
And Adam Eve.
If you look closely, this is a 3D rendering version of Snoopy, dude. He's got some fucking 3-dimensional.
okay,
2D
Adam Eve.
render.
Adam Eve's 2D.
Yeah, but like
You can't. This is not the argument
Neo-
we're having right now.
Neo
this
literally
is not
trumps
the argument.
Neo trumps every single person
That's
because he can
not-
just be like, "Fuck
can't
you,
just-
dude."
You can't
The
just
one,
declare that
the
Neo.
one goes outside of has power outside of the Matrix, bro.
So if we're talking about like the version of the characters that are on the screen, I love the Matrix. I grew up with it, but fucking Neo is really only impressive inside the Matrix.
But you guys, bro, they have Snape as well. He can fucking smell shit out from a mile away, dude.
That's true.
You guys
He
gotta
is
put
a
that into
wizard.
perspective.
because
bro.
like
He'll
if we're
smell Mystique, bro.
the only thing
Yeah,
that
but I
is
mean,
carrying blue.
Snape's not going to kill anybody. He's just going to cry. He's just somebody's going to say something about Harry Potter's mom, and he's going to brood in the corner for the rest of the fight.
Snape is the man.
The only
Fuck
thing
you.
that's really like carrying Team Blue in terms of all the other teams, like all of the other teams,
Dr. Manhattan.
is Dr. Manhattan. Because if we're talking about like the version of the character that's like in the picture, like this is movie Superman. You know, like this isn't, like fucking, Superman, what is it, 54, 57, whatever. It's not Superman Prime 1 Million. This is movie Man of Steel Superman. So it's like,
What's a?
I asked the fucking Snapchat AI who would win between Neo from the Matrix and Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
And it said, that's a tough one. Neo from the Matrix has some serious skills, but Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen has incredible powers. Basic ass answer. It said, like, who do you think would come out on top? And I said, you tell me. And he said, haha, fair point. I think Dr. Manhattan's near godlike powers. might go the edge
He's
in that
literally
matchup.
just God.
Well, okay, but like, how can Neo not just say "fuck you" and just be like,
'Cause he's just
deconstruct
God,
the
bro.
Matrix around him?
Dr.
Doc
Manhattan's
Manhattan's
literally
just,
God.
He's just literally God.
So I forget. So Dr. Manhattan is not a physical being.
He is.
I think-
You're
I don't
using
know.
this whole Matrix thing as a crutch.
yeah.
But like, if he is a physical being within the Matrix itself, then Neo can trump anything.
But
right?
we don't
but I
even
feel
know
like-
if
I
the
think
fight's
he
taking
also-
place in the Matrix or not.
I think Dr. Manhattan also exists like without a vessel.
Okay, so if he exists without a vessel, then obviously Dr. Manhattan wins.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Dr. Manhattan, I guess.
Yeah, no.
So-
Dr. Manhattan fucking kills
Okay,
the fuck
team-
out of everyone.
Yeah.
Team Blue takes the
on
cake, bro.
there.
Dr. Manhattan snaps his fingers like Thanos and fucking kills
Not
everyone,
even
I guess.
Thanos.
Little wave of the goodbye.
It's like the very ending scene in The Watchmen when fucking Rorschach wants him to kill him. He just goes like that. And he
Leave
just
Mike.
Yeah.
That's
Leave
insane.
Mike.
I think,
fuck.
yeah,
You're
you gotta
retarded.
talk into the mic. You gotta talk into the mic.
Retarded.
That's, I think Big Bird on Team Yellow might pull something out, I think.
Dude.
Yeah, Team Yellow doesn't
So
stand.
Team Blue wins.
I think
It's
Team
decided.
Blue, yeah.
Yeah,
Team
Team
Black
Blue
is pretty
wins.
impressive though.
Team- yeah,
with
Team-
Darth Vader, Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't know too much about Power Rangers, but I know the Black Ranger is supposed to be like fucking him.
Yeah.
What I know.
Is
He looks
he?
fucking
Okay.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
like the
does.
Black Ranger, from what I understand, and Batman, like the fucking methodical genius.
Let's look at the comments here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Team Blue is overpowered with genies.
That's what I was saying. Genie can just bend reality as much as.
yeah,
Dr.
Neo
Manhattan,
could.
Superman, and Genie on one team is unfair.
Yeah, okay. So everybody's saying blue in the
Everybody's
comments?
pretty much saying blue.
Team
which
Yellow
we're right.
getting
Okay.
washed.
Yeah, for
Team
real.
White would be OP with Metro Man. That's a missed opportunity.
Fun fact about Big Bird. Did you guys know that he was supposed to die in the Challenger explosion?
I didn't know that.
Well,
Wait,
they
he was-
fucking, you make it sound like the Challenger explosion was fucking premeditated.
Wasn't
like,
it? No, it
I think it
wasn't.
was.
It wasn't. It
Oh,
wasn't.
Jesus.
I think
not-
everything is premeditated.
Next time
Nothing
on
happens.
Cosatomicast.
Nothing happens for chance. Everything
No.
happens for a reason.
But
It's all connected. It's all a
Apparently,
conspiracy.
they
boys.
wanted Big Bird on the Challenger, and they were going to do like a live
I
feed
did know this.
for like Sesame Street, and he's like, "Oh, I'm with astronauts," but they couldn't fit the puppet into the vessel, and so Big Bird just didn't end up going up there. But had he gone to the Challenger, Big Bird would have been a fatality in the Challenger explosion.
Damn, dude.
If that would have happened, they could never have brought him back.
I was about to ask, do you think that they would still have him on Sesame
Yeah,
Street?
they
if
would.
the
Not.
kids found out.
They'd be like, Big Bird's fucking cousin came back. He looks just like him.
Yeah, that's teach kids a valuable lesson about death, bruh. No way they could bring Big Bird back, dude. You gotta.
There's an entire
life isn't
Sesame
fair.
Street episode about how Big Bird died in a rocket explosion.
Life isn't fair, dude. You can't just fucking act like Big Bird didn't die, bruh. That's a valuable life lesson for all the kids out there.
Something
Big
you
Bird
gotta
fans.
learn at some point.
All
Life is
right.
fleeting. Mortality is a curse.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's get
All right,
the
yeah,
fuck
let's
out of here.
wrap it
Jesus.
up. All right,
All right.
so
There's a dragon here.
moral of the story: blue team wins. Black's a close second in our book. Red team also might be a little overpowered, but Kirby could suck up everybody and win OP. So, Leaf, what's the album for next week?
So we got When the Kite String Pops by Acid Bath.
Sick
Excellent.
as fuck.
When the kite string pops.
By Acid Bath.
Thanks for
Ass-
recommending that, because I've been
Acid
meaning to listen to
Bath.
that for a fucking minute, dude.
No, dude, it's fucking
Got around
amazing.
to it.
It is so good.
Fuck
All
yeah,
right.
dude.
Thank you everybody for listening. We will see you next week.
You guys you have
You
a
can do it.
Spit it out,
time.
Junior.
no, I'm shy.